Okay, great. This is it, I guess. Well, hi. So, some of you already knew that there was a little surprise waiting, a little event, and this day's today. So, this is fantastic timing because actually there was great weather for like a whole week. Sunshine, 15 degrees Celsius, and today it's 2 degrees. It's cold, it's a bit rainy. I just came out of a 10-hour day, 4 hours of video conference calls. I'm exhausted, but that's kind of the point I want to talk about today and tell you a bit of my story. Because this is kind of a special day, the first one this year for me in terms of what I will be talking about to you. Let's start like this. When I was growing up, I always was a big fan of the idea of utopia, because utopias are by definition impossible to reach, impossible to achieve. I always thought, well, that's great to have as a goal, because you always have something to strive for. There's no risk of actually achieving what you set out to do, and so you will always be running towards a goal, and you will always improve yourself and things around you by trying to do that. So utopia was where it's at, I thought. But putting my life into such circumstances eventually led to something very predictable, which is, you can't achieve utopia. You won't achieve your goals, and so that can be quite depressing because there's no tangible goals you're achieving, right? And cut. So this was not a cut, but we gotta respect personal boundaries of random strangers walking by. So anyways, the situation was, I was kind of depressed that not reaching goals meant you never have something to really cherish, never have a moment where you can sit down and say, let's look back to what we achieved. You could theoretically do that, but with having unachievable goals, you never really have a clear point where you feel like, well, now's the moment, now's the time. So when this year started, I thought, let's change it up a bit, and I made the exact opposite, and I set out very little steps, very little goals for myself, the liking of, well, just go outside and walk a few thousand steps. That's like the smallest possible goal, right? You can do one walk, everybody can do, not like, it doesn't really matter what you do. My point is not go outside and walk like I do right now, but set the smallest possible goal for whatever you want to achieve. Something you are sure you will achieve, and make it so small and so limited in time that you can do it today. And for me, that was go outside and walk 10,000 steps. Could have been 6,000. It could have been 2,000. That doesn't matter. I put 10,000 because I thought that's achievable for me on that day. And then I went and I did it. And then the next day, I did the same thing. I went out and I thought, I wonder if I can achieve 10,000 steps again. And so I did. I went out and I walked 10,000 steps again. And the third day, I didn't feel quite as powerful. And I went outside and I went 4,000? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But I went outside and I walked a bit. And the next day I went out and I walked a bit. And the next day the same. And the next, and the next, and the next. Today's March the... There was a biker, so I didn't forget what date we have. Today's the 11th of March. And I went outside to walk a bit every day of the year so far. So I think it doesn't really matter how far. And that's kind of a point I wanted to make. I will talk a bit about numbers now. And I want to make very clear that I will not talk about numbers to gloat about what I achieved or make you imagine numbers you would have to put up in whatever you want to achieve, and feel like, oh, this sounds impossible. I want to make the exact opposite point. There will be numbers that seem pretty high, and you will feel like, well, that's fucking impossible. I couldn't go outside and do that. Be it steps, be it whatever. But I didn't do that. I didn't go out and set an impossible goal. I didn't accumulate all those steps in my head and went like, oh, until March I can achieve this, and in a full year I could achieve that. I just went day by day, and that's what you should do probably, because that's much easier. That's not like utopia. So, before we talk numbers, let me tell you a bit about things I noticed over time. Originally, I set out to lose a few pounds because I was very impressed by some friends and colleagues who did the very same. And actually, I don't know I lost any weight. I also wanted to be more energetic. And I have good days and I have bad days. I still have bad days. And I will have bad days in the future. But I feel like I have more energy. I know I have more energy because over time the daily average of my steps went up. And at the same time, what also happened was that the days that I would feel such a low amount of energy that I could only walk a few steps become much rarer. In fact, there hasn't been one day in March where I didn't go out to do at least 10,000 steps. So that's great, right? So I got a pretty cool fitness watch. I won't make any ads here, but it gives me some additional info. And it also said that despite not losing any weight, my muscle mass has increased. My sleep has become better. It improved quite a bit actually. And some other cool stuff. So now let's talk numbers. When I said I did 10,000 steps on average, maybe a bit more since the start of the year, those of you who are very good at math will come to some impressive numbers. And in fact, when we look on my watch today, we're at a bit over 10,000 today. This is actually the only time I made a voluntary cut, because I needed to do another 200 steps, which has happened just now, because now I'm at 11,000 steps for today, and added to those of all the other days of the year, I just finished 1 million steps. Holy shit. So what to do now, apart from just walking further down the road, because that's what we do now and that's our life now. We just made a habit. We just changed a little part of our life. And it will be this from now on. Hopefully for the rest of a long, healthy life, right? What changed? So, I realized that my plan to change from utopia to little steps, literally, was the right move. And I can only tell you, maybe try the same with whatever your problem is, with whatever your goals are. Because it works, it's really easy. If you had come to me on January 1st and you would have told me, you will do 1 million steps and you will feel better, I would have started the first day and I would probably have walked like 20,000 steps, because I'm just like that. I really want to achieve my goals and I will power through with pure willpower. And then on the second day, maybe I would have tried the same. But yeah, I would have totally overpaced, would have done too much. And on the third day, at the very least at the fourth day, my body would have broken down, my muscles would have been sore, and I would be like, this is impossible, no one can do this, fuck this, and would have went back to my computer and would have written about it, and I would have cried about it, and a lot of you wonderful people would have told me, you're okay, you're still lovable, and you would have been right. But yeah, goals would have not been achieved. Now my goal is no longer do 1 million steps or 2 million steps. My goal is go outside, do what you can, enjoy the day, and take this fucking time outside every day and enjoy this, because that's really great. I really love it. Every day I take 2 hours or a bit more, and I think about stuff, and I write messages to people I love, and I just breathe and watch the nature. And whatever your goals are, little tip, this could be part of it. Maybe you want to do something like this. Because yes, I have less time every day, because it's been spent outside, but it's also very distressing, and I end up having much more energy mentally and physically. And yeah, I walked now 11,000 steps and I'm fresh as a pea. I don't know if that's something you say, doesn't really matter. But anyways, the most important part at the end, thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being there for me. You know who you are. Yeah, I couldn't have done it without you, and that's kind of the crux of the story. Whatever little goals we set for ourselves, in the long run we can't achieve them on our own. We're really lost alone, and you should depend on those who you love and those who love you, and they will be there for you. And I hope I can be one of them. So thank you for all your energy, for believing in this first very little part of the voyage for me. Doesn't solve all my problems. Oh no. And whatever you set out to do next won't solve all your problems, but it will show you that it's possible to tackle your problems and share. Share your hopes, share your doubts, share your fears, and all this shit. I'm talking for 15 minutes in a foreign language that I set out to finally learn 2 years ago, because of friends, because of love. And now it kind of works. Why? Because I did it step for step. Fuck yeah. Okay, love you. See you in the future.